Hello, 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 and welcome back to That Quirky Bird Girl. I'm your host, Steph, and I'm back here again, as you guys can expect it, with another lovely episode of That Quirky Bird Girl. Now, today I'm joining you with my cat. As usual, he's chilling with me on my bed, but if you watched last week's episode and you have not yet subscribed, you're gonna want to hit that subscribe button. So go ahead and do that while I'm yapping away about what's been going on in my life over the past few weeks. And you may have noticed that I was showing up with a different background, but I am happily back now in my background here in New York. I was traveling, more details to come. I know. Feed the curiosity, right? I have been traveling quite a bit and preparing a ton of bird related content for you all to enjoy. And I am so excited to get started sharing that with you all. You'll start seeing that over the next few days. And yeah, just engage with it if you see it. Post a comment, like the video, share it with anyone that you know. My page is going to continue growing. We're almost at 5,000 followers, y'all. Almost at 5,000. There are 200 of you lovely people over here on YouTube and hundreds more on my podcast because I have it on every single podcasting platform. But it has been so lovely. This is season 3, episode 2. And when I started this podcast back in December, I had no idea where it was going, what it was going to lead me to, how I was going to feel when all of it was said and done with the podcast. And I am so glad that I got started in posting. I was incredibly hesitant. And it has only gotten better every single time that I've done it. So I'm just lucky. I'm going to continue doing it. So you can expect more seasons from me. But welcome to season 3. All right, y'all. So now it's time. What do I got cooking for you all today? Well, not only are we talking about Birds Day, but we're talking about something that I have brought up many a times over on my channel, but haven't really gone in as much depth as I'd like to. And I'm going to do that today. So one thing that I have talked about has been around birds and community. How do we find our freaking bird people, y'all? Because it's one thing to find each other online, which I am so grateful you found me, but it's another thing to find each other in person. It's a whole other demon, let's say. And it can be really hard and incredibly isolating. So I'm going to give you some quick tips, both for networking as well as for bird working. But we'll get into some mistakes that I've made along the way and how I've helped support myself in these environments and taking from what I've read as well. Because y'all, as a neurodivergent person, I have read way too much literature on how I can communicate socially, how to bring up questions, how to engage in eye contact. Oh my gosh, I feel like I could do a masterclass on eye contact alone, the amount of skills and tools that I have around it, because your girl does not eye contact like most eye contact. And so I have learned how to get the skills that I need in order for me to actually communicate myself in the way that I want to be communicating myself. So we'll be talking about that, but we'll also just be talking about why it's important to have community, why it's important to have people around you that remind you of who you are, and why it's important to keep those people or fight for those people in your life. Okay. All right, y'all. I gave a little bit of a teaser about what we're going to be talking about today, but let's dive in, shall we? And as you all are used to, we're going to get started with our common why. Why the heck would you engage in community when oftentimes it feels like it's incredibly difficult to throw yourself literally to the wolves and try to make friends, try to meet new people, try to network sometimes? It's not easy. And you're doing the hard work just by asking this question, why? So if you've gotten this far in the video, you're on the right track, just keep going. But why would you keep going? There are a bunch of reasons why you should keep going. For any big transitional point that you might have in your life, having people in your corner is going to be incredibly instrumental. You never know what's going to happen in your life that's going to completely shake it up. For example, in the year 2024, I got a divorce. Yeah, that's right, y'all. Your girl is divorced. And it was incredibly difficult. It was a hard time for me. I didn't at many points think that I was going to recover and ever feel like I was normal again, but I did. And the people that helped me recover were the people that I found in community. So that's an anecdote just to say, in order to heal, in order to grow, community is a necessary piece to it. Community is a piece to the large puzzle that often gets lost in the sauce, but also in the day to day. Having people in your corner not only helps you get through those difficult times, but they also help you enjoy the good times. When you think about an upcoming birthday party, you may not be a birthday party person, but just imagine for a moment that you are a birthday party person. And in this scenario of you being a birthday party person, you want to look around and see people that are celebrating you, that are excited to be around you, that love you, that care for you. And I guarantee you, if we extend it a little bit further, I know we're all scared of the big D word, but it is all inevitable. It is all coming. And accepting it is going to do us much more good than denying that it's coming. So, in the name of this acceptance of what's coming, having and knowing people are going to carry on your legacy, are going to carry on the importance of your voice. I don't know. I'd say that's pretty darn important. And if that doesn't motivate you, allow me to give one last reason on why community is so important. If you are someone who is neurodiverse, if you are someone who has lived a life full of feeling like you didn't belong and feeling like there weren't spaces for you and feeling like you were all alone in your story, in your life, in whatever it might be, if you have had the sensation where you are like, damn, I'm really alone, I feel really lonely right now, then my friend, you are not alone. There are so many others in community that have experienced what it is that you're experiencing, that loneliness, that craving, that need for other, that need for knowing that the other exists out there, because it does. It's just about finding it, my friend. It is just about finding it. And that at times can be the hardest part of it all. Finding your people can feel like a journey for which you have no map. And there are ways to go around that and build your own sort of map and ask people what they did when they were at these pivotal moments. But ultimately, it's going to be your own formula. So figuring out what you want your community to look like, not just in, okay, I want my community to understand and have a shared experience that I have, because that's something that I've leaned into, is the shared experience of it all. But you can also say, what hobbies do I want them to have? What do I want them to look like? What do I want them to care about? Do I want them to be on the political scene? Do I want them to be someone who cares more about planes? Do I want them to be someone who, or a group of people who laugh and giggle and have as much fun as they can have because they know that this planet's small and they want to get the most out of it? You literally get to decide what community looks like for you. For me, my community looks like bird-filled people. People who love birds are all around me. And if they didn't get started with loving birds when I first met them, and if that's not how I met them, then they got started through their love for me. And I think that that's really beautiful. So also finding groups that are malleable, where you can bring your full self to them and you can share a little bit about yourself and allow yourself to evolve and grow through the group. That's going to be a really beneficial piece of actually having community once you do have it. So those are two of the biggest pieces around community: what and why. Okay, so now we've done the what and why. We're going to do the how. Well, how the heck, Steph, do you find community? I live in the middle of rural nowhere. Say you said that to me. Okay, well, guess what? I lived in the middle of nowhere, and you have two options when you live in the middle of nowhere. First option is you can figure out how the heck you're going to get yourself out of the middle of nowhere. If you've followed my story for a really long time, you know that I'm a big city girl. I've lived in big cities practically since the age of 16. I left the house and I moved into the big city, Chicago, after living abroad for some period of time. And I fell in love and knew that from the moment that I stepped out of that door to live abroad, I was making the right choice, the right call. I was doing exactly what I wanted to be doing for myself. So, do you want to continue living in the middle of nowhere, or do you not? And if you do want to continue living in the middle of nowhere, fine. That's perfectly fine. You're allowed to make the choices with your ecosystem that you want to make. No one's forcing you into deciding that you have to no longer live in a small city or not love a small city. Love your small city, but just know that there are ways of going around and meeting people still within your system of autonomy or your own personal requirements for finding those people. Now that we've established that, if you live in a big city or a moderate to big city, one great way in finding your bird people or just finding people in general is going to event sites that are going to host different opportunities for you to meet people. So one great example of that is going to be on LinkedIn. Now, some of those events are virtual, so you're going to have to keep an eye out. And this goes actually for all platforms, that you're going to want to keep an eye out for whether or not the events are in person or virtual. A great entry window is going to be getting started with virtual events and then eventually slipping into more in-person events as you grow your comfortability. I, however, just dove straight into in-person events. Now, if you're like, Steph, I don't want to do networking events, I want to do ones that are more hobby focused or more grand, then what you will actually end up going to is sites like Luma, sites like Eventbrite, or sites like Meetup. Those are all really, really great resources to get you the help you need to start building the community that you dream of. Because y'all, the community you dream of is out there and it's waiting for you and it's so excited to accept you into it. So keep holding out. Keep shooting for the gold. You're gonna find your community so soon. I just know it. So those are a few sites that you can use to accomplish your goals. Social media sites can also be a really, really, really good platform for you to get started. I would always just check on other participants, see how large the group is, make sure it's a larger group. A lot of birding groups are run off of Facebook, so they can tend to be more trustworthy. However, I would say that if you are a woman, exercising caution as much as you can is going to be super important. There was a speaker that I saw a few years ago that was talking about her experience in her sexual assault and how it happened in the birding space. And, this isn't to say that community is something that you should run from, but not all community is safe community. So just keeping your eye out, if you're watching this episode, you're probably already good at that. For those of my neurodivergent audience folk, I want to speak directly to you when I say this because birds can give you a common thing to talk about. Now, I'm not saying it has to be birds. It could be literally any hobby, any special interest, any love, any hyperfixation that you have. But what I am saying is it needs to be something. Find a common interest. If you struggle socially and you're listening through this whole entire podcast episode and you're like, Steph, I would never go to a networking event. I would never go to an event that you're describing. Maybe it's time to evaluate why and try something that's based around your zone of comfort, because it's not like you have to jump to 360 and do the events that I'm talking about. I do them, but I do them because I'm genuinely passionate about them and they get me excited and they get me pumped and I love seeing people in their element. But if it doesn't get you excited and pumped, start with something that does. Find what interest do you have that when you talk about it, you absolutely light up. Your friends want to hear more about it. The people in your life ask you questions and bring you gifts in that particular area of interest. What is it that drives you? And those answers are going to help you find the type of community that you're looking for and will actually end up informing the two questions that I was asking earlier, your how and your why. But having a common thing to talk about can be incredibly helpful socially. So if you struggle, get started there and see where it takes you. And on that same note, we're going to talk about something that I learned in an amazing, amazing book. And in this book, they talk a lot about how you can use different tools or how different tools are available to you to take advantage of and use when you are engaging socially. So one of those tools, it's called a what's it. What is a what's it? Well, a what's it is basically something that gives someone a window into asking you questions about what it is you're passionate about. So say, for example, you love dinosaurs and you go to an event and you decide, I want to wear a brooch and this brooch has a dinosaur on it, but I need to put it somewhere that people can see it because it's your what's it, right? It's your what's it. And so you're going to wear this brooch and say you put it somewhere that's like outwardly appealing. People can see it immediately when they scan the room. It's something easy for them to see. It stands out because, reminder, in these spaces, it's actually more helpful to stand out. Okay, y'all, we have been told for so many years, practically our whole lives, that it's not okay to stand out. But this is actually a space where it's okay to stand out. It's actually more than okay. It's actually phenomenal that you're wanting to stand out and that you're excited to stand out. Standing out gives people an in, a way to chat with you, a way to start talking to you. It makes some people feel comfortable or more comfortable in their identities, and it makes them feel like they can say something that maybe they wouldn't have said if you didn't open that window for them. So overall, what is a what's it? A what's it is something that gives someone a window into asking you questions about yourself. So get a what's it. If you don't have a what's it, you gotta get a what's it. My what's it is usually bird patches. I have them across nearly every single item of clothing that I own. This here, if you're looking at the video, you can see my what's it, but I actually have two of them that I'm sporting here in this video. So here on the top, we have a chimney swift, and on the bottom, we have my That Quirky Bird Girl pin, y'all. And if you have not secured your That Quirky Bird Girl pin, the pin link is in my bio, and it is also in the link to this episode. So be sure to get yours today. I only made a limited supply. I won't be restocking these same ones. I will be moving on to another completely different selection. So you're going to want to get yours now, y'all. Get it. And in the meantime, leverage your what's it. Allow yourself to be as frickety fracking cool as you are out in public, chatting about the birds, chatting about whatever it is that your special interest is, and let people ask questions. Let them get excited. Let them have a moment of reprieve. Because to be honest, I don't know a single person that is not stressed out at one point or another in a social encounter. Okay. So if other people are stressed out and you're using your what's it to give them an out, to just ask them as many questions as they can to keep the pressure off of themselves and onto you, you're doing them a favor and you don't even realize it most of the time. So guess what? Keep favoring it up, helping other people in talking to you, and use your what's it through your passion. I want to hear how it goes. Put it in the comments down below. And next, and most lastly, lean into community. I know it's hard, okay, y'all? I am someone who has gone a total 360. If you looked at who I was a year ago, I was living in Chicago, not a part of any local groups. The closest thing that I had to a friend group was a Discord chat that I would talk to frequently, and I still talk to. They're amazing people, don't get me wrong. Online communities can be amazing and fruitful. However, they are nonetheless online. I can't convert them into person. There is something that is lost when you aren't able to be in person, and I'm still figuring out what that is. But there's something to be lost. When you go in person, it's almost like you can feel and play off of other people's energies. You can talk about different and flow differently. You're not blocked by someone else having to talk or having to moderate. You can just flow naturally into the conversation. So being in person really helps sort of streamline a lot of those conversations that you're having, and it allows room for you to grow. Listen, not every social encounter is going to be fun, and not every single one that I leave is one that I intended it to be. Sometimes I go to social events and I think, oh, it's going to be exactly like this. And it ends up being the complete opposite. And it ends up being not fun at all for what I was looking for. Sometimes it's just going to be a dud, but then the times that it is good, it is so, so, so good. It is literally so much fun to bounce around and to talk to people about nonsensical things, to talk to them about birds, to talk to them about bees, to talk to them about dinosaurs, medieval languages, literally anything. It is so much fun to engage people and just yap away with them because if you haven't noticed, y'all, I am a yapper. And I love it so frickety fracky much. It definitely helps with socializing. But by leaning in, not only will you get benefits for yourself, you improving your social skills, making new friends, but you're also going to be benefiting the greater society. You are benefiting yourself by placing yourself in this community. Yes, of course, sure, but you are also benefiting others because you are now becoming the hope that they wish to see in community. So if you're out there looking for community and you're like, I want it to look this way, I want it to be this, I want it to be, I want it, like you're putting out all of these things that you want it to be, that's amazing. You get to also model that for someone else and you get to be that. You never know what they're hoping for on the other side, but maybe, just maybe, you are fitting that exact niche that they are looking for. Bada boom, bada bing, baby. You've got community, which is really just the goal. It is the goal. Lean in, it benefits you, it benefits the people that you will ultimately probably end up caring deeply for because when in community, it's hard not to care deeply for those people. So lean in for them, lean in for you. You deserve access to your special interest, to your hyperfixation, to whatever it is that you love and are passionate about. You deserve access to that and to embrace it in its fullest. And I'm sorry, sitting at home talking about it to people online or sitting at home and talking to it with yourself or amongst yourself, it doesn't really hit the spot. As someone who's done it for the past 6 months, it's time for us to go outside, y'all. It's beautiful outside. The sun is shining for those of you that are in the United States. You probably are getting some sunshine, but either way, I hope you're getting lots and lots of it. And birds are going to help you along the way. If you are choosing to integrate yourself into a bird related event or community, guess what? Birds hold you the same way you hold them. They will be there for you. They will be present for you. They will teach you how to slow down. They will teach you how to meditate. They will teach you how to breathe. And they will teach you how to live a life that is not just about survival amongst others. And if you need an example of that, look no further than our barn swallows. I've talked about them a few times over on this channel. I'll continue talking about them because your girl can't help herself. But barn swallows live in massive, massive, massive communities of birds, and they will oftentimes have nests around one another, so you get to see their nesting abilities and how amazing of parents they are. But all in all, they live in really large communities, and there's something that we can take away from that. If you're curious what it is, check out my recent podcast episodes where I talk about barn swallows and other birds. I'll continue posting throughout season 3 about what you can experience with the different birds that are outside, out in your back door, out at your parks, maybe out on a plane that you're gonna have to travel and see all the birds with. Either way, the birds are out there, they're waiting for you, they're ready for you, and we're gonna see them together. So stay tuned, y'all. I have so much more in store for you. Like I said, I'm traveling a bunch, so you'll see that reflected in content over the next few weeks. In addition to that, I will also be posting more frequently over on YouTube, so keep an eye out for upcoming videos, shorts, all of it, y'all. I've got so much in store for you, and I can't wait to share it. So hit that subscribe button, y'all. Get your pin if you haven't already, and I will see you very, very soon. Love you. Bye.